Welcome to Justice Now, and this is part of the series of tips for Black workers. This is part 9, and for this particular video, it will be about making sure that you're constantly looking for opportunities to train and enhance your skills. So the very importance of this is that when you are the first to volunteer to train on a new skill or to enhance your skills, then it helps you to continue to be marketable within the labor market. Now, keep in mind, there are going to be circumstances where you are being blocked from a particular training. And I'll give you an example. For one of the companies that I worked for, they have a thing called Mental Health First Aid. Mental Health First Aid is a free course. It's a course that is designed for the understanding that there are people that are undergoing mental health and to find out what you can do if they're experiencing mental health. Rather it be mild to severe, and what actions people can take in order to secure resources for those who are experiencing mental health. So in this particular company, they were offering it, and I volunteered for that. There were also other opportunities, such as learning more about a particular diagnosis or learning more about a particular skill, such as a food handling certificate. And I already had my food handler certificate, so I didn't feel that I needed to have that. But for the mental health first aid and other skills, I felt that those would have been most useful. So when I had submitted them, and it wouldn't have cost the company any money in order to have these available, I was blocked by HR. So what I did was I made sure that I looked for elsewhere as to where I can obtain those same skills. And then as soon as I received a certificate of participation, which is key, you always want to make sure you have a certificate of participation to document that you've completed the skill set that you've learned or enhanced. As soon as I had that, I made sure that I uploaded it onto an email and sent through email to please add to my personnel file, so that it's inserted, so that when it comes time for a performance review, when it comes time for, say, an opportunity within the company, or even when it comes to opportunities outside of the company, then you have these certificates available to show. Even though the HR blocked, and when I had submitted it, of course, certain people from HR scowled, and that didn't really matter to me. The main thing is that I felt I needed those skills, and I made sure that when they blocked, then I found other alternatives in order to securing that skill. So I'm going to highly recommend that you do the same. If you notice that there are other skills that are not available, then I would also highly recommend that you state in writing so that the idea is coming from you. And I'm going to do another video on how to protect credits for your ideas, because there's going to be many people that will try to steal those ideas. You make sure that you put it in email as to what your idea is, what you've observed that is missing that might be helpful for the company and helpful for you in terms of enhancing your skills. So for instance, there is the workplace occupational health and safety act, where you can review as to what skills are are needed within the workplace to ensure health and safety. Oftentimes, although they have workplace violence, oftentimes most companies do not have, say, an active shooter protocol. So you might want to say, well, here, what do we do in the event of an active shooter protocol? You can recite some of the mass shootings that have happened in other workplaces. And if they don't have an active shooter protocol, then you suggest that a protocol be put into place and you volunteer to put that protocol together so that it can be reviewed and implemented. And again, that shows initiative, that shows research, that shows, there's a whole host of skills that are being implemented here when you do this, that you can add to your repertoire of skills. Same for any other skill that you feel that might be helpful. But again, you should always be looking at enhancing and building on your skills. Another thing that you can do is look for free courses online that will be helpful to you. And again, make sure that these skills have a certificate of participation as proof that you've completed them. Then there's the others where you would pay. So if you have enough money to pay for a training program, then I would definitely encourage you to invest in yourself to pay for those training programs. And make sure that, again, you get that certificate of participation. The reason I'm just mentioning this as much as possible, obtaining your certificate of participation, is you want to have supportive evidence that you've completed this course and therefore you have the skill in order to implement that would add value to your own knowledge base and in turn add value to the company. So you can also do that as well. If there's opportunities where you can become a trainer, such as a first aid trainer, by all means, consider those options as well. That way you can also use your training opportunities as a secondary source of income. A lot of trainers in first aid actually go around to different companies and train employees in first aid and obtain money for it. If there's like a safety training or a safe management type of training, consider becoming a trainer, a certified trainer, in order to do that as well. So that's also another avenue to look into, not only enhancing your skills, but also getting the opportunity to build a secondary or even third source of income. And yeah, that's what I have about training for so far. If you have any additional tips about training and enhancing or maintaining skills, definitely provide your insights and comments below, as well as with questions. If there's any questions around that as well, definitely comment. So the two takeaways that I would like you to have for this video is A, if you're doing the training, make sure you get your certificate of participation. I cannot stress this enough, get your certificate of participation. And then the second takeaway is that if you have an opportunity to become a certified trainer yourself so that you can educate others in obtaining that skill and in turn obtain a secondary or third source of income, then do so. So that would also provide opportunity for you. And well, there's a third takeaway. The third takeaway is that if you've sent in a request to obtain training in a particular skill and you've been turned down or denied outright, then there's other ways to obtain that same skill that you're looking for, and seek those other avenues. And once you've obtained your certificate of participation, then you upload it onto your email and send that email to the HR to add to your personnel file. By doing that, that also enhances your skills in resourcefulness. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more videos.